相声间接么的修，难的咖喱，谁的年的电话讲了讲正在，苦我的歌，娘们汤那让手西马龙的。落着心间，头身正表拉面张口扬上前，我的咱不同这地，眼看见我把的。Lhaksam Rami Chedi Tapu Muda Shojar Cha Choka Sam Jo Cherd Loda Midona Gisham Koron Haji Tang Me
Today we are gathered here for the Flame of Truth. The global relay of the torch which bears the Flame of Truth has arrived in New York. The relay in the United States started in the capital area on September 2nd, which marks the Tibetan Democracy Day, and after having journeyed through some of the major cities of the United States, will end in front of the United Nations on December 10th, which marks the Human Rights Day. The three major points for this rally are 1959, 61 and 65 respectively, after the invasion and illegal occupation of Tibet by the Chinese. The Tibetan government has sent letters of appeal to the United Nations. Unfortunately, there was no response. Hence, the genocide in Tibet, human rights abuse, and ultimately it has come to self-immolation for our voices to be heard. We would like fact-finding media to be sent to Tibet, and we implore that all the political prisoners be released. It is high time that there is some change in the situation of Tibet. With that being said, I, on behalf of the Tibetan community of New York and New Jersey, the Regional Tibetan Youth Congress, the Regional Tibetan Women's Association, the Regional Chushigondruk, Students for Free Tibet, and the United States Tibet Committee would like to thank all of you for being here, and especially our non-Tibetan supporters. And now we shall have the Tibetan national anthem.
Si si pende de go jongwe de to de san pe no be na ba de no de ya che jongwe gu ti le ge ro zo ye do je kam su de be cho gu cham ze yong nam gu ka wa ya de u ba gong la re pen zo de xin a da ye.
And now we shall have the reading of the names of the self-immolators of Tibet.
Tangbo, Tubdengo Drup, Niba, Tape, Sumba, Lhaksam Pinso, Shiwa, Tsawanu, Ngaba, Lhaksam Kesan, Chukpa, Lhaksam Kinsho, Dumba, Kesan Wangchu, Geba, Kayin, Guba, Chumbe, Chuba, Nubujamdu,
Chukjiba, Tenzi Wangmo, Chungiba, Dawatsirin, Choksomba, Palden Chuso, Chupshiba, Shirap Sedor, Chungapa, Huda, Chuduba, Tenzi Punzola, Chupdimba, Tenila, Chopkeba, Sudumla, Chuguba, Chugu Suba La, Nishuba, Lhaksam Jamyang La,
Nisajiba, Rinzin Doje, Nisangiba, Sunam Rabian, Saksumba, Tenzi Children, Sabshiba, Lhaksam Geso, Nisangaba, Tamju Sangbo, Zajuba, Namju, Zabdumba, Sringi, Nisabgeba, Rinche, Zaguba, Doje, Sumjuba, Gape,
Sumju sojik ba jamyang palden. Sumju soni ba lobsan sujum. Sumju soksum ba sonam tage. Sumju sobshi ba jamyang ishi. Sumju songa ba lobsan shirab. Sumju sodu ba temba tage. Sumju sobdim ba chimi palden. Sumju sobge ba cheba gyap. Sumju sogu ba sonam. Shibju ba doji tseden.
Shibju sheji ba targe. Shibju shengi ba rikyo. Shibju shesum ba tamjin thar. Shibju shepshi ba tenzin kejuk. Shibju shenga ba ngawan nope. Shibju sheju ba digi chunzum. Shibju shepdun ba sawan doje. Shibju shepge ba lobsan lonzin. Shibju shegu ba lobsan surim. Ngabju ba jogaiki.
Ngabju ngajik ba lobsan tamju. Ngabju ngani ba lobsan kesan. Ngabju ngaksum ba lungso. Ngabju ngapshi ba jashi. Ngabju ngenga ba cheba.
토마데 정말 야트스틸 쉐이 안단다데 페리지든 타릭 안조데 딱 고란조게 슝데기 탄다 지든 넘버에 공원 넘버 고란조 제딘라 테제 페투요 마레 안데 소바카 투레 라바도 베나 지든 소베게 구요베 토네 뉴욕 나라 탄다 뎀베 메제 코르교데 운조 슈바이 안 안조 슈고 보스턴 리아 페규레 쉐이 도치나 테네 다린데 응으스 지두레 던조레 슝데기 메와 송자 말이야 코란족이 인지간에 측하시 슈나 송고도 안에 인지간에 측하시 슈야 배준 슈위 roof of the world is burning. The world has so far chosen to turn a blind eye to Tibet issue. Meanwhile, over the last 60 years, following Chinese forceful occupation of Tibet, Beijing has been relentlessly implementing brutal hardline policies in Tibet. From the imprisonment, torture, and murder of hundreds of thousands of monks and nuns, lay Tibetans, to the destruction of thousands of ancient monasteries which have been the cradle of the Tibetan culture and civilization. China's continual policies of economic, social, and demographic marginalization of Tibetan bring forth the real possibility of extinction of Tibetan as a people. The Communist Chinese have not only occupied Tibet and in essence imprisoned the free conscience of 6 million Tibetans. It has relentlessly sought to wipe out Tibetan, anything that is Tibetan, through so-called patriotic re-education of the monastic community and the political indoctrination of the Tibetan mass. In other words, that is say, vilification of Tibetan religious figure like His Holiness Dalai Lama, who symbolized the very essence of Tibetan identity. Through such a program, the Chinese leader expected the Tibetan to become the subservient to the Beijing. However, no matter how brutal or how repressive their policies may be, no power on earth can stop the Tibetan following their leaders, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Where there is a more repression and force, there will be more resistance and revolt. This is evidence in 2008 when the repression policy has conduct of the Chinese government saw the mass uprising of Tibetan throughout the Tibetan plateau. Since then, the world has witnessed a string of tragic acts of self-immolation. To the date, there have been over 50 such acts. These Tibetans are not harming others, but they are calling for a few simple things. Chief among these are the return of His Holiness Dalai Lama to the Tibet and the freedom of Tibetan people. We Tibetans dare to stand up against the most brutal regime today in this earth because we know that our struggle stands for justice. For our just struggle for human dignity and above it all stands for the truth. And I take heart in knowing that throughout the human history, truth and the justice have always prevailed over the evil of injustice and repressions. Today, I urge the United Nations, which is supposedly established to safeguard human equality, dignity and injustice. I urge the members of the free world to respond urgently to the fellow calls from the roof of the world. Tibet is burning. Tibet is burning, and the world has moral obligation to respond to rescue. Tibet is burning, and the world has moral obligation to respond to rescue. This torch, the flame of truth, this torch, flame of truth, is a timely reminder for all of us that when the roof of the world is on a fire, it's a timely reminder for all of us that when the roof of the world is on a fire, the rest of the world cannot remain as a mere spectator. Cannot be spectator. May I quote the famous word of great Dr. King: injustice anywhere is threat to justice everywhere. Pagalo! 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 Pagalo!